We'll visit with a Jewish volunteer group making an impact in New Orleans during their winter vacations. We'll explore the National Public Lands Day, where citizens have a chance to volunteer at national parks on this episode of Travel Television. On web tips, making travel more accessible for people with disabilities. All this and more. So, on to our first stop.
Hi, my name is Brad Jurish, and I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm here with St. Timothy Lutheran Church. We're actually working with a group called Lutheran Disaster Response, and it's a group that works nationally, but has spent a lot of time here in New Orleans since Katrina. So we have 8 of us down here, and we are staying in a big metal building with sleeping in bunk beds, and coming out here to try to help serve.
It was just a great feeling to help someone who can't do it by themselves but still wants to come home, and I understand the feeling of having a home and how important that is. So I wanted to come help another person. When you see the actual real life people trying to restart their lives, and I just think even though it might not seem like I'm doing much or my group's not doing much with helping with one house, it really makes a difference to that one family, and when that's multiplied by many others helping, it's a job that can get done. It just takes perseverance and hard work and a helping heart.
Rewarding knowing that you brought that person that step closer to having their house back, and just like they're completely out of their house, but they're that much closer to getting it back.
And we took down the drywall and took the house down to its 2x4 and foundation so they could rebuild.
If we can get more people down here, that'd be great. We only have like 8 or 9 people today, and we've done all this in about an hour and a half. So if you get like 20 people, think about how much you could do.
I decided to come as a chaperone with the group and help clear these houses. It's a dirty job. We're covered with our gear and tearing out walls and looking out for nails and just trying to strip and gut the houses. Apparently there's just a lot of work to be done, and we believe in sharing our faith and not only talking the talk but walking the walk, and we really want to try to make a difference, as small as it may seem.
Coming out here to try to help serve. Jesus Christ, he came to serve and not to be served, and that's our motto. And what better way to teach youth and adults that aspect of service than to bring them down here and help out the people who need it most. If you're thinking about taking a group, if you're wondering if there's still opportunities to come down and serve, definitely there are. There are so many opportunities. They need people who have experience, who can come down here and help put these people's lives back together. There's so much more to be done, and that's what God calls us to do, is come out and serve the best we can.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
There's joy in the air at First Grace United Methodist Church. It's one of the most diverse congregations in the city of New Orleans, says member Margaret Washington.
There is no white section nor black section. We are truly a united Methodist church. I am enriched each time I come to church.
For 184 years, First United Methodist housed a white congregation. Just down the street, Grace United Methodist served an African American fellowship. Hurricane Katrina brought them together. Martez Trullier is a longtime member of Grace.
On Katrina Sunday, we were about to celebrate our 155th anniversary on that very day.
The storm damaged both buildings. Faced with the hard decision of what churches to save, the Reverend Sean Moses Anglem came up with a proposal: merge.
Basically, the question I asked was, do you think we can do more for our city as one body of Christ than we will ever do as 2 bodies 1 mile apart?
It's not forced mixed. It's mixed because it wants to be mixed.
There's a genuine caring, a genuine love between the people.
As word spread, the blended church quadrupled attendance. Stephanie Martin was riding the streetcar with her teenage son when the congregation caught his eye.
What he saw was a mixed group of people. I, of course, was like, that's an all-white church, and we can't go there, and because I'm not going to expose you to that. And he's the one who said, come on, Ma, let's go, let's try it and see what happens.
Now, Martin greets every person on Sunday with excitement about what her new church has to offer.
It's the coming together. It's black, it's white, it's Latino, and it's love. I guarantee if you come, you're gonna feel the love.
This video was brought to you by the people of the United Methodist Church through World Service donations.
There's an organization devoted to making travel accessible and comfortable for travelers with disabilities. FlyingWithDisability.org explains that disability need not create any hindrance to a pleasant journey. Many people automatically assume that just because a person has a disability, it will automatically restrict their opportunity to travel around the world. This just should not be the case. True, flying with a disability may be slightly more complicated, but the majority of airlines are now catering to disabled flyers. Flying with a Disability is a site designed to provide impartial information and advice to all disabled people around the world who travel by air. It serves as a comprehensive information resource for all disabled flyers, but also as an important forum for disabled flyers to share their experiences of flying with other disabled travelers.
It takes so little. One person doing one thing, one person on a team of 10 gutting a house, one person serving food to a resident. It's so simple. There's so much to be done, and it really, I mean, I think people get overwhelmed and they think, like, what can I possibly do? Come down here. You can do the smallest thing, and it makes such a big difference.
Now that there's such a limited amount of people back, you know, at night after dark, you don't see anybody. You know, everybody's locked in their little trailer or they leave the city.
East New Orleans is home to Mr. Fred DePlant and always will be, he tells CTV News. The father of CTV Administrative Manager Diane Williams, he serves as our guide the first day here. He evacuated before the storm. About 6 weeks later, he returned to survey the damage.
In here, it was 54 inches high. I measured it. That was where it settled. 59, it may have gone higher. The refrigerator was, I think, in that room. And all of the beds and mattresses and everything were just every place in the house. Oh, I was shocked, you know. I sort of expected it to be the way it was, but I guess I didn't want to accept it. This is where I spent most of my time. I had a large TV here, and a big chair, and a couch there, and a couch here, and of course the coffee tables and the end tables. But this is where I spent most of my day, looking at television or reading or something like that.
That was before Katrina. When he's not visiting friends, Mr. DePlant is a few steps away from his front door in this small trailer. He says while most of the renovation work is done, he's still weeks away from moving out of the trailer and back into his home.
I've been trying to get my floors done for the past, I guess 5 weeks. And each time it's a delay for one reason or another. You know, I can't get to you, I'm backed up. I'll see you next week, I'll try to get to you next week, you know, that type of thing.
With the exception of a trailer here and there, this Hansborough Street neighborhood has the feel of a deserted community.
What you see is that trailer, this trailer, and that mini storage thing there. Those people are back, but not anybody else on this block that I know of has any intentions of coming back.
But Mr. DePlant is back and says he's here to stay.
I never had any thoughts of not coming back. I always wanted to come back. This is my roots, and I will be here.
My desire is, my father's 80 years old, my desire is to have my father here with us, but Louisiana has been his home. He's a die-hard Louisianan and will not leave. I mean, he has vowed to rebuild. New Orleans is where he's been all his life, and he will not leave. The unity is what we had in our family, which at this point, a year later, our family is still spread across the United States, literally. We're in contact with one another, but we miss the family gatherings. Will that ever happen again? It's hard to say.
It's never going to be the same, but I think I will still enjoy the things that I enjoyed before. I like to fish. I take my little boat out and I go out in the bays and the ponds and I do fishing with my friends. And we enjoy that. All my friends are here. The ones that I have are here. So I'm perfectly content to continue to make New Orleans my home.
A few doors down on Hansborough, this neighbor has hired a contractor to make his home livable again.
This is the house that a client, you know, they have like a 6 feet of water inside the house. They lose everything. This wall has to take it out. And here is the kitchen. These people, they stay for the storm in here. And they saw everything that happened.
You stayed through the storm, through Katrina. Why?
Well, we wasn't really sure where we were going to go because we don't know that many people are out of state and things like that. And we kind of figured that, we'll get some wind, but other than that, we think we'll be all right. And for a long period of time, there was a lot of strong wind, but lights went off, but we were fine. But all of a sudden, I noticed, I walked out, and I saw a stream of water, because this area never flooded before. A stream of water coming down, and I looked and said, wow. So I noticed, looking at the mailbox over there, the water's getting higher and higher. And all of a sudden, the water just seemed like it broke loose, and the water started coming to the houses from all 4 sides. And then that's when I told my wife, we better get out of here. And we ran, and we're trying to find shelter somewhere. And so we ran and found a neighbor that we didn't know a couple of blocks down, and we went to their house. Luckily, they were there. But, I mean, that water was filling fast. And we finally got to the lady's house, and they were there. Their house hadn't received any water yet. But I see another half an hour later, their house started filling. So eventually, we had to go up to the attic, and that's where we stayed the whole day. But around here was fully covered. I mean, it was crazy, no doubt about that.
How did you get out?
Get out of here?
Well, I guess from your neighbor's house when they started.
Well, after the hurricane settled down, there was some neighbors of them were in a boat. So we just got out of the attic. Of course, there was water inside, and we went to the attic. We went to the boat so we could get rescued, maybe stand on the roof, or there were helicopters flying all around. But we were there practically the whole day, and we wasn't rescued yet. So we figured, well, we have a boat. Let's get to Haynes over there, because we figured it's dry over there, and it was. They let us out, and we walked to, just walk somewhere, and a helicopter came and saw us and turned around and picked us up and brought us to a shelter.
As a homeowner, a resident of New Orleans, your thoughts. Was the city prepared? Did it do what it should have done, or did it just fail in the citizenry?
I think we definitely failed. I mean, we prepared for 40 years for this, and no, we wasn't prepared. I think even myself, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I never even thought about the flooding. I mean, that's what killed everything, the flooding. If it wasn't for that, you might have wind damage, New Orleans survives, but the flooding with the levee breaking, no, that killed everything, no doubt about it. And hopefully this time around, when we get another one, that problem will be solved. You'll get some flooding, but not 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 feet of water. That's ridiculous there. But that's how it was. It was a scary situation, but we survived it.
Your trips abroad are likely to be safe. However, unfortunate incidents happen. Here are some tips on how to avoid an unhappy vacation. Dress conservatively. Don't wear expensive-looking jewelry. A flashy wardrobe or one that is too casual can mark you as a tourist. Carry the minimum amount of valuables necessary for your trip and plan a place or places to conceal them. Don't bring anything you would hate to lose. Your passport, cash, and credit cards are most secure in the hotel safe. Avoid handbags, fanny packs, and outside pockets. Make 2 photocopies of your passport identification page, airline tickets, driver's license, and the credit cards that you plan to bring with you. Leave 1 photocopy of this data with family or friends at home. Pack the other in a place separate from where you carry your valuables. As much as possible, plan to stay in larger hotels that have more elaborate security. For more safety tips and up-to-date travel warnings, go to travel.state.gov.
We'll explore the National Public Lands Day, where citizens have a chance to volunteer at a national park, on this episode of Travel Television.
A lot of what the boys get out of working here this morning is that sense of they had a hand in helping the national parks, that they can come back out and enjoy taking a hike on the trails, going camping here at Greenbelt National Park, and that sense of belonging to the community and giving back for the many things that the community gives to us. I've got a number of my scouts here behind me working on the trail, spreading river gravel to help level the trail, to make it look more, blend in with the environment here. The reason why we come out is that sense of helping the national parks. It's a great opportunity for the boys to get out on a Saturday morning to help give back to our community, give back to our national parks. And that's part of the story of the Boy Scouts of America. I think a lot of what the boys get out of working here this morning is that sense of they had a hand in helping the national parks. And so I really believe that we like to do a lot of our service projects involving national parks, involving keeping our environment green.
Today is National Help Out Public Lands Day. I get that feeling like I've helped, we have helped, and we have just made America that much better. Even if it's just a little bit, we still made it better. And after this, I just get that job well done feeling after I do this.
I normally volunteer at this park every week and doing trail maintenance, but on the celebration of National Public Lands Day and National Trails Day, which occurs in June, I make an extra effort to come to the park and put in a little extra time to kind of help out in keeping this place an environment that both speaks to the natural surroundings that the Park Service is trying to preserve here, as well as to provide facilities that allow people to come and enjoy it, such as doing the trail maintenance. It's an opportunity to get out and do that, plus just put back something to the natural environment.
The mission of the National Park Service is to preserve this park for this generation as well as future generations. And on Public Lands Day, we did that today. In the National Park Service, there are many opportunities for the public to come into parks, such as this park. We have campground hosting at our campground, invasive plant removal, watershed cleanups, and trail maintenance projects. In a national park near you, there's plenty of opportunities where we welcome you to come on and help us.
I'm here in the Angkor region of Cambodia. Over my shoulder is Angkor Wat. It is the largest temple of this collection. There are over 100 temples to explore here on your travels. This particular temple, Angkor Wat, is a Hindu temple that was built in the 12th century, the early part of the 12th century. It took 37 years to build. It took 1 million people to actually build it, which at the time represented half of the population of Cambodia. The temple itself actually faces west, while all the other temples faced east, and because it was used as a funeral temple, and hence it faced west.
AirCompassionForVeterans.org is a nonprofit organization that works to ensure that no financially stressed veterans, active duty military personnel, or their family members are denied access to specialized medical services because they cannot afford long-distance medical air transportation. Air Compassion for Veterans provides transports for these individuals so that they can receive the medical evaluation, diagnosis, treatment, or rehabilitation they need. You can join in the effort by visiting and donating your U.S. Airways Dividends miles through the U.S. Airways Miles of Hope program. Your miles will be used to help aid members of the military and enable them to get the care they deserve. You can also donate online to support Air Compassion for Veterans and the work they are doing for military patients. So log on today and donate your frequent flyer miles to a great cause.
I'm a retired Reform rabbi who is working now as the Social Action Rabbinic Scholar in Residence at the Barnard Temple in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. I'm one of the founders of the Adult Mitzvah Corps program that has gathered people together from around the United States 7 times so far to participate in building projects and much, much more. We've worked on several homes. The first time we came 2 years ago through the Federation, the Jewish Federation, we worked on the homes of several Jewish families. And happily, some of them now host us when we come back. But since the first year, we have worked on the homes of people who are not Jewish. And in fact, the homeowners of this home are people we have not met. We did not know very much about them before we decided to come down and to work on their house. And through them, we've been able to draw people from around the country. On this particular trip, there are participants from 8 different states in the United States. And many of them have been on building experiences with us before, although about 1/3 of the group is brand new this year. It's not uncommon for us to have parents and children. My wife is here. She's one of my partners in the project, and my son is here as well. The reason we keep coming is that the need doesn't go away. And that as long as there are people who are suffering in this way, especially if others have forgotten them, especially if it seems as if from the outside things are okay, and we can just move on with our own lives, but the truth is that it's not okay, then our place needs to be here. This is our 3rd time in New Orleans, and each time we've had different partners sponsored with different Reform synagogues. This year with Gates of Prayer Synagogue in Metairie, and our building partners are this time Rebuilding Together. With the help of both of them, we've been able to be very efficient, I think, and get an awful lot of work done on this house that belongs to the Prophet family, and we're very pleased to be helping them. Before we start each building project, we ask the participants why they're here. And often someone will say, it's a nice vacation, or it's a pretty cheap vacation, or I'm not handy and all my friends dared me to do this, or I can't believe you can get this work done. I want to see for myself. But it doesn't take a day before they realize what we're really doing here. And what we're doing is God's work. We feel that this is a mitzvah, a commandment for us, a way of showing our love for our neighbors, treating them as if we were in trouble. We would hope that they and others would treat us. And it builds bridges between one community and another. When we have worked in the Upper 9th Ward, in the middle of a black community, we met members of the church there, Vine Baptist Church, and people who would ordinarily not get to know each other in such a personal way had a chance to interact. And we hope that that builds bridges of understanding. Our sense is that in Jewish terms, the world stands on 3 things, 3 pillars: the pillar of Torah study, the pillar of our relationship with God, and finally the 3rd pillar of our relationship with other people, acts of loving kindness that we might perform together. We also have a sense that as we're doing this work, we're not here by ourselves, that we're not in the presence of people who are poor or people who are needy. We're in the presence of people who are images of God. And so alongside of us, we sense very strongly God's presence. And we have the feeling that we are doing holy work. And we're transformed in that process from people who would never do any repairs in their own houses, like me, who still have no skills after 7 times building and repairing homes. Somehow we managed to do it. somehow we stretch and we help each other and we learn and reason together, and we're able to really make a difference in the lives of these families. For us, that's the ultimate payback and the sense that we are fulfilling the mandate, the challenge of our tradition.